Hi everyone, I'm going to start this video by saying a massive thank you to everybody who left such positive and lovely comments on parts 1 and 2 of my art project videos. So thank you very much for those, really appreciated. Also thank you to the people who either messaged me or left a comment regarding the little hangers. If anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, these are the little hangers that I mentioned in part 1. And a couple of people did send me a message to say where to get them. Unfortunately, neither of the places that were mentioned, one was mentioned twice, they won't ship to the UK, so I still cannot find a place to buy them. However, I last night decided to try and make one, and this is my version of the little hangers. So I had some wire, and I've had this wire for the longest time, which is really stiff. I got it, it was basically a school that I used to work in. I'm a teacher by profession, and the school was closing down, and I work in the technology department, and they had huge quantities of this stuff, and it was just going to be left there and discarded. So I took some, knowing that one day it would be useful, and I didn't quite know when, but I did take some. So that was the little wire hanger, and I added little mini clothes pegs onto it, because I didn't have the original clips. I didn't have those type of clips to put on it, and I added a little book plate with some brads, which I just, if you look at the back, I don't know if you can see, you can't see very well, but I twisted the brads over the wire and then glued it in place there. So that's my version. It did take a little while to make, and I would rather buy them, but at least I've got one. Right, on with the art projects then from last year. I'm going to start with this one. This is an ATC that I made, where the theme was, it was either eyes or vision, one of those two, I can't quite remember. This one I really liked because I did some doodling on this one, which I'm always a little bit reluctant to put pen to paper. I prefer using my stamps, so it was a bit out of my comfort zone. But the eye part, that part of the eye was the stamp. The background was watercolours, and the vision is a stamp as well. And then all the detail work on the eye and the little scrolly bits here I did by hand. So I was quite pleased with that one. Another ATC here. This is done with distress inks, some grunge board on there, and another one of those vintage images that I use quite a lot of, and number stamp in the background. This one, the theme for this one was helping hands, and there's another one with a hands theme as well. So I really like this one, and I had that hand quote, well, it's not really hand quote, but it mentions the word hand, so it was good enough. And I liked the effects of this one. I stamped it in the same colour as the background first, and then at the bottom there in black. This one, a house shaped for a challenge that your artwork has to be in the shape of a house. So the theme was fun for this one. So lots of different things going on there, scallop shaped paper at the bottom. The stamps here have been outlined in white, and so have these ones here, and then collage image and more of the scallop paper at the top. So that was a fun one to do. And this one here, I like this one as well. I can't remember the theme for this one. It will be on my blog if you go and check it out. So this one, again, distress inks. I've got some crackle in the background, some speckles, which is probably the Tim Holtz stamp. These, definitely the Tim Holtz stamp. Another Paper Whimsy is the people who make this one. It's not available as a digital. You've got to buy them. But they're absolutely gorgeous images. So that's that one. Another postcard size one. I can't remember exactly how I created this, but there's lots of different layers and things going on in it. Torn paper, there's a linen stamped in the linen effect stamped in the background there. It looks like Dusty Concord and peeled paint and faded jeans, number stamp. Tim Holtz Flourish in the faded jeans and white as well, and collage image, and then I attached some chain, a little anchor, and another little embellishment there as well. This is another postcard. I think the music, it must have been a music theme for this one, I'm guessing. And I really like that quote. Music speaks what cannot be expressed, soothes the mind and gives it rest, heals the heart and makes it whole, flows from heaven to the soul. So I thought that was lovely, and I really love this image as well. The little ballerina fairy girl there. And there's torn paper in the background, and it looks like I've mixed inks with acrylic paint there as well. This is the same technique if you looked at the mermaid piece on, I think it's on the first of my art project videos. Same technique with the tissue paper and colour wash sprays and Lumiere paint and the little accent beads. And this was an Easter theme, I think, and I also had some egg shapes which I also covered with the same tissue paper and paints and put those on. So another one that I really like. And this again was another hands theme. Actually, the other one that I showed you was just hands. This was the helping hands theme. So the quote on there, better is the hand that helps than lips that pray. And I really like that effect. I like the dark colours with the white stamping, and that around the edges there is German scrap that was gold, and that was coloured with alcohol inks. Another Gothic art shape. The theme for this one was tickets. So it's got the Tim Holtz ticket background, the ticket border, and then some of the tickets cut out and applied over the top there. And that is painted in the background white acrylic, just to take away some of the strength of the colour, so that the image stands out there. This is another one in the style of Tisha Moore. There's a couple of these which says the Land of Odd on. I do like this quirky, sort of eclectic type of art. I had fun doing that. Again, there's a lot of pen work on there, white pen and black pen as well, little bits on the dress there, and it's all put together out of different bits of paper here and there, so quite like that one. And there is another one in that style somewhere. There it is, another very strange one which I drew. This part here is all hand drawn, and I based it on there's a company that does a stamp that's very similar to this, and I didn't have that stamp, so I sort of drew my own version of it. I was quite happy with how it turned out. This is an altered CD, which I used a background paper on here, which is from craftyindividuals.co.uk. They do some really nice, I think they're either 6x6 or 8x8 pads of background papers that are very grungy and vintagey. So that was one of their papers, and it was sprayed with various colour sprays as well, and this little frame was from them as well, and so was the acetate image. Another 4x4 page. This one was a faux linen challenge. We had to sort of brayer the linen onto your piece and create that effect of the linen actually being on there, and then stamped with various stamps. Well, once again, I'm out of time, so I'm going to leave it there. Leave a comment please if you wish, and I may or may not do another part to this. Okay, bye for now.